Thank you for joining the Namoi Cotton Annual General Meeting. Please use this time to adjust your audio and view our most recent annual report on the Investors section of our website. Our key presenters will commence the AGM shortly. Thank you for joining the Namoi Cotton Annual General Meeting. Please use this time to adjust your audio and view our most recent annual report on the Investors section of our website. Our key presenters will commence the AGM shortly. Thank you for joining the Namoi Cotton Annual General Meeting. Please use this time to adjust your audio and view our most recent annual report on the Investors section of our website. Our key presenters will commence the AGM shortly. Thank you for joining the Namoi Cotton Annual General Meeting. Please use this time to adjust your audio and view our most recent annual report on the Investors section of our website. Our key presenters will commence the AGM shortly.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Andrew Metcalf, Company Secretary of Namoi Cotton. Before I hand to our Chairman, Tim Watson, to formally open the AGM, on behalf of the Namoi Cotton Board and Management, I welcome you to the 2021 AGM. Considering the COVID-19 pandemic and social distancing restrictions, the decision was made to hold this AGM as a hybrid meeting, allowing shareholders to attend in person and virtually via the webinar. If we experience technical difficulties throughout the AGM and they are not resolved within 5 minutes, we will adjourn the meeting and reconvene at 12 noon Brisbane time today. All details regarding this AGM were released to the ASX announcements platform on the 15th of June 2021 and are also published on our website. Voting on all resolutions is by way of a poll, and the Lumi voting platform is being used for this purpose. Shareholders attending the meeting in person at Toowoomba and virtually will be able to vote using the Lumi voting platform. I now invite Tim Watson to formally open this AGM.
My name is Tim Watson, and I'm the chairman of the company, and I'll be the chair of today's meeting. Our company secretary, Andrew Metcalf, has advised me we have a quorum, and I now declare the meeting open. It's my pleasure to introduce the members of our board who are attending either in person or virtually due to the COVID restrictions in New South Wales and Victoria. The company's recently appointed Chief Executive Officer, John Stevenson, is also present today in person at the meeting in Toowoomba. The company's auditor, Wade Hanson, and from Ernst Young, is attending in person and is with us here in Toowoomba and is available to answer any questions in relation to the audit of the company's financial accounts. Computershare representatives attending both in person and virtually. There are several procedural matters before I present my Chair's report and deal with the formal business of the meeting. Voting on all resolutions is by way of a poll, and the Lumi voting platform is to be used for that purpose. Access to the Lumi voting platform is found in the notice of meeting and on your proxy form. Voting is now open for all resolutions and will close 5 minutes after the last resolution is put to shareholders. During the meeting, we will display slides for each item of business and the number of proxy votes received for each resolution. The results of the voting by way of poll will be released on the ASX as soon as they are available and will be displayed on the company's website. As Chair, I intend to vote undirected proxies in favour of resolutions 1 to 5 and against resolution 6. We encourage you to submit questions in respect of the resolutions as they are presented, and also following the presentation from the CEO, which will be presented after the formal business of the meeting. For people attending virtually, questions can be submitted using the Q&A function on the webinar. We will now move to the formal business of the meeting as found in the notice of meeting. Resolutions and proxy votes received will be displayed in turn. The first item of business is to receive and consider the financial report of the company and its controlled entities for the financial year ended 28th of February 2021 and the related director's report and auditor's report. Please note that there is no requirement for shareholders to approve these reports. Andrew, are there any questions?
No questions, Tim.
Thank you. As there are no questions, I'll now move to the resolution number 1. Resolution number 1 is to consider the remuneration report for the financial year ended 28th of February 2021, and if thought fit, pass a non-binding resolution to approve the remuneration report as an ordinary resolution in accordance with section 250R of the Corporations Act. Andrew, are there any questions?
There are no questions, Tim.
As there are no questions, the proxy votes received are shown on your screen. And as Chair, I will be voting these undirected proxies in favour of the resolution. All directors recommend that the shareholders vote in favour of the resolution. And I'll now put that motion to shareholders and request that you vote using the Lumi voting platform that has been provided to you. Just wondering whether I should read those out for the people in the room.
Read out the proxies.
The proxies. I might just do that. So resolution number 1, there's 38,451,000 for and 1 million against. 2,127,000 open and 6 million abstained. At this stage, that's carried. Resolution number 2. Resolution number 2 is to consider and if thought fit, pass an ordinary resolution to approve the re-election of Juanita Hampson as an independent non-executive director of the company. I'd like to invite Juanita to say a few words.
Thanks, Chair. Good morning. My name is Juanita Hampson and I'm a cotton grower from Breeza in northern New South Wales and a chartered accountant. I was appointed to the board in 2018 as a grower director and I'm currently the chair of the Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. Apart from being an active cotton grower and an irrigator, I also have experience in accountancy and finance and have experience as a non-executive director with other agribusiness sector boards. I'm excited and enthusiastic to continue my involvement as the director, and if re-elected, I look forward to working with the board and the Namoi Cotton team. Thank you.
Thank you, Juanita. Andrew, are there any questions?
No, Tim, no questions have been received.
The proxy votes received are on the screen here, and for those in the room, there's 39,900,000 for, 2,500,000 against. I'm rounding these numbers because they'll change. There's 2.6 million open and 5.5 million abstained. Resolution, as Chair, I'll be voting the undirected proxies in favour of the resolution. All directors recommend that shareholders vote in favour of the resolution. I now put that motion to shareholders and request that you vote using the Lumi voting platform that has been provided to you. Resolution number 3 is to consider and, if thought fit, pass an ordinary resolution to approve the re-election of Joe DeLeo as an independent non-executive director of the company. I'd like to invite Joe to say a few words.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Joe DeLeo, and I've been a non-executive director since 2018. I have an extensive career in agriculture, both in executive and non-executive roles. I'm currently the chair of the Namoi Cotton Safety Committee. If re-elected today, I very much look forward to continuing to work with both the board and management in strengthening and growing the Namoi Cotton business on behalf of shareholders and growers. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Andrew, are there any questions?
Tim, there's no questions received.
The proxy votes received are shown on your screen. There's 41.6 million for, 23,000 against, 2.6 million open and 6.3 million abstained. As Chair, I'll be voting these undirected proxies in favour of the resolution. All directors recommend that shareholders vote in favour of the resolution. I now put that motion to shareholders and request that you vote using the Lumi voting platform that has been provided to you. Resolution number 4 is to consider and, if thought fit, pass an ordinary resolution to ratify the prior issue of 21,086,399 ordinary shares pursuant to the placement completed in April 2021. Andrew, are there any questions?
Tim, there's no questions received.
The proxies received on the screen are 12 million for, 1.7 million against, 1.8 million open and 32 million abstained. As Chair, I'll be voting these undirected proxies in favour of the resolution. All directors recommend that shareholders vote in favour of the resolution. I now put that motion to shareholders and request that you vote using the Lumi voting platform that has been provided to you. Resolution number 5. Resolution number 5 is a special resolution to approve an amendment to Article 10.2 of the company's constitution. Andrew, are there any questions?
Tim, there's no questions received.
The proxies shown on the screen for those in the room here are 40 million for, 1.9 million against, 2.6 million open and 5.6 million abstained. The proxy votes received are shown on the screen. As Chair, I'll be voting these undirected proxies in favour of the resolution. All directors recommend that shareholders vote in favour of the resolution. I now put the motion to shareholders and request that you vote using the Lumi voting platform that has been provided. Resolution number 6. Resolution number 6 is a special resolution to approve continuation of the 20% shareholding limit in the company's constitution. As noted in the explanatory statements, a shareholding limit of 20% was incorporated within the company's constitution in 2017. And it was specifically noted that this limit needed to be approved by 75% or more shareholders at the 2021 AGM for it to continue. The existence of a shareholding limit is not common for an ASX listed company, and my fellow directors and I believe it may adversely affect the value ascribed to our ordinary shares. Andrew, are there any questions?
Tim, there's no questions received.
As there are no questions received, the proxies received, which are on your screen, 4.2 million for, 37 million against, 2.6 million open, and 6.3 million abstained. As Chair, I'll be voting the undirected proxies against the resolution. All directors recommend that shareholders vote against the resolution. I now put that motion to shareholders and request you vote using the Lumi voting platform that has been provided to you. Having completed the last item of business on the notice of meeting, I remind shareholders that poll voting using the Lumi online voting system will remain open for a further 5 minutes before I formally close the poll. Now that concludes the formal part of the meeting, which I declare closed. I'll now present my Chair's report, which has been published on the company's website and on the ASX announcements platform. Once again, welcome to the Namoi Cotton 2021 Annual General Meeting. This year we focused on simplifying our business while strengthening our operations and balance sheet, ultimately pursuing a strategy to create superior value for growers and shareholders. Namoi Cotton's business plan spans fibre, feed, supply chain and marketing, with cotton ginning being at the core. Our vision is to be the leading Australian cotton agribusiness, achieved by linking our growers to global markets. FY 2021 was probably one of our most challenging years on record, given the drought, the COVID-related issues, etc. Despite those challenges, we finished the year in a strengthened position, ready to capitalise on improved seasonal conditions. We're heading in the right direction, and there's still more to do. Fortunately, the season is going with us. For our FY 2021 results were negatively impacted by the severe drought in 2018 and 19, resulting in a record low cotton production. We ginned 0.12 million bales in 21, representing 21% of the estimated Australian crop. The number of bales is 75% below the prior year's volumes and 85% below average Namoi cotton ginning volume. In response to those historically low volumes, we focused our attention on managing costs. We have reduced our cost base, which will give us more flexibility in future low volume seasons. I'd also note the 2.1 million in grants we received in financial year 2021 from the Commonwealth Government's JobKeeper program was a welcome support. With such low volumes in FY 21, our revenue was insufficient to cover our indirect costs, resulting in a loss before tax of 16.5 million, or an 8.9 million loss, excluding our share of losses from joint venture and associates. Reporting this loss is disappointing for all involved. However, we recognise the effort from management and staff in minimising the impact of the extremely low volume. We remain focused on the need to increase our earnings and manage risk and generate a sound return on the assets for our shareholders. The board recognised our continued improvement in safety. Safety is a primary focus and reflected in this focus is reflected in a year-on-year reduction in our lost time injury frequency ratio, which is the measurement. The team at Namoi Cotton strives to ensure everyone returns home from work healthy and happy every day. The restructure to our Namoi Cotton Alliance business we announced during the year simplifies and significantly de-risks our business. We made a strategic decision to realign our marketing and supply chain activities, reducing our exposure to the trading and marketing of lint cotton. We own a 15% share in our new joint venture with Louis Dreyfus Company called the Namoi Cotton Marketing Alliance, or NCMA, which has assumed the trading and marketing of lint cotton business and related debt from the NCA joint venture. Namoi Cotton earns a fee for every gin bale offered to the NCMA and maintains a share in the NCMA's earnings. Significantly, as part of the restructure, Namoi Cotton's exposure to any potential future losses or profits of the NCMA joint venture has been capped at $1.5 million per annum. Our joint venture partner, Louis Dreyfus Company, has the responsibility of ensuring NCMA's operations are fully funded, which is quite significant. We maintain a majority 51% share in Namoi Cotton Alliance, which is now focused on generating margin and free cash flow from our quality warehouses and infrastructure and associated supply chain for the NCMA and other cotton merchants. Following the NCA restructure and assumption of the NCMA funding by our joint venture partner, the group's debt profile has been streamlined into long-term core debt, which is matched against the earning profile of our infrastructure, plus revolving working capital and equipment lines to support operations. Our goal is to manage net debt levels to ensure we have flexibility during this seasonal downsides as well as upsides. Debt management will be a focus for us when we return to improved seasonal conditions. In May this year, Namoi Cotton successfully raised $10.7 million in new equity via a $7.2 million placement plus a $3.5 million share purchase plan, both of which were issued at 34 cents per share. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our existing shareholders who supported the capital raise and welcome the new Namoi shareholders who participated in the placement. The 2021 cotton crop is predicted to be 2.7 million bales. The prior year was 1.6 million bales. With some of our production valleys still impacted by water availability in 2020, the group is forecasting to gin 0.5 million bales from the 2021 crop, including 100% of our joint venture gins, which is more than 3 times higher than last year. Water availability drives cotton production. Flooding rains this year in Eastern Australia has increased water availability, which will support increased cotton production in the coming seasons. Dam levels are a lead indicator for future cotton production, with cotton production directly correlated to water availability. As of July 2021, dam water availability or dam water capacity in our catchment areas has increased to 64% compared to 23% the same time last year. Now that's really significant. And I'd refer you to John's chart in his presentation, which highlights this correlation a little bit later on. Current water availability will support increased cotton plantings for the 2022 growing season, FY 2023, and potentially for the 23 season, which will be FY 2024. ABARES' most recent forecast of Australian cotton production, released in June 2021, is for 4.2 million bales, which is 56% higher than the current season. It's looking pretty positive. COVID-19 has had a disruptive impact on the global cotton markets and supply chains. Economic and logistical uncertainty has resulted in price volatility, which in turn has increased the execution risk for export cotton. We expect this period of uncertainty and increased risk should continue for the short to medium term. There are both opportunities and challenges ahead for Namoi Cotton. With our simpler de-risked business structure and more variable cost base, we are better able to translate increased volume from the forecast improved seasonal conditions into earnings and cash flow. This will underpin our strategic roadmap to strengthen our core ginning business through improved service and new products to growers while reducing cost. Grow our core business by unlocking additional value from cotton co-products and pursuing opportunities into new geographies. Our goal is to maximise Namoi Cotton's upside and minimise the downside financial impact going forward. The close of today's meeting will see the retirement of one of our long-standing grower directors, Glenn Price. Glenn has been a tireless contributor to the board of Namoi Cotton. Glenn has been through the ups and downs of Namoi Cotton and has ultimately been a part of the successful transition from a cooperative to the current ASX listed structure. Namoi Cotton is a better business from Glenn's involvement. On behalf of the board, I would like to thank Glenn for his effort and input over that time. Thank you, Glenn. The board will continue to undertake a search process to find a suitably qualified person to fill the vacancy. During the year, Michael Renahan resigned from his then position as Chief Executive Officer. We thank Michael for his contribution to Namoi Cotton. Our then Chief Financial Officer, John Stevenson, accepted the interim role before being appointed as our full-time Chief Executive Officer in June after the board completed an external search process. We thank John for his dedication and effort as the company financial officer and are pleased to have been able to appoint him to the Chief Executive Officer role. Thank you, John. We're undertaking a search process to fill a subsequent company Chief Financial Officer vacancy. We'll keep you updated on that. Our people have been challenged given the circumstances, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the executive team and particularly all our field staff for their dedication and persistence through these difficult times. It hasn't been easy, and I would like to thank you very much for your effort and hard work. It's a credit to the strength of the Namoi Cotton character, and we maintain our standards, resilience, and motivation during this time of significant change for the company. I'd also like to take this opportunity to extend my thanks to my fellow directors for their dedication and resilience over the past 12 months and to get Namoi Cotton into the present position and the support that they give me from time to time. Thank you. To our growers, a couple of which are in the room, thank you very much for your support during this unprecedented drought, and we look forward to working with you further in the coming seasons. And finally, thank you, our shareholders, for your ongoing commitment to Namoi Cotton. I'd now like to welcome our CEO, John Stevenson, to make a presentation to the shareholders. This presentation is published on the company website and the ASX announcement platform. Thank you.
I'd welcome everybody to the meeting today, both online. This is our first hybrid AGM, so we're working through some technical difficulties, and I apologise for the people, the shareholders in the room and the visitors in the room aren't able to see the screen in the big screen, but there is a small screen over there. Hopefully that allows you to see the key areas. I'm going to go through my presentation, which has been lodged on the ASX platform this morning. It contains a lot of information, so I encourage you to have a look at it. It's a record that you can keep, and if there's anything here, I'm not going to go into those slides in detail here, but I will have plenty of time at the end of the meeting to answer any questions on those slides. But certainly I encourage you, if you do have a look at it subsequent to this meeting, reach out to me or anybody, any of our team, in order to answer any of your questions. We're very helpful. We're very willing to help any of our growers or customers or stakeholders. So please do that. I'm going to touch on some of the things that Tim has raised and talk about the year that's just finished, as well as talk about a little bit about our strategy and the outlook for the future. Just starting with, I do want to start with safety. It's absolutely critical to us. People are at the heart of our business, and culture is at the core of our risk management systems. Safety, it's very clear to me that safety is not about dollars or rules. It's about people and the culture that they live and breathe. Our culture of commitment by everyone, everywhere, every day is driving this downward trend that in safety statistics that you can see on the screen here. Tim mentioned that we undertook a major business simplification of our business during the year. That focused on two major areas. Firstly, we converted more of our fixed cost base into variable costs that are aligned to volume. And second, we reduced our exposure to cotton lint trading. Our fixed cost base is being restructured to align with sustainable average volumes, which gives us a base to flex up from in high seasons, but minimises costs in the down seasons. The trading of cotton amplifies production volatility and requires significant resources through the cycle. Ginning is at the core of our business, and our focus is on being the best and biggest ginning company in the country. Hence, we've reduced our stake and taken a strategic investment in trading. It was important for us that we strengthened our balance sheet after a number of years of drought and reduction in capacity. And as Tim mentioned, we completed a 10.7 million equity raise earlier this year. That's strengthened our balance sheet and given us the firepower to maximise the returns from the improved seasons ahead. I also welcome the support of the existing shareholders, and also we welcomed a number of new shareholders to the register, so I welcome them. We're also in discussion with our banks about increasing our facilities to take advantage of the increased seasons coming ahead as well. Just to give you a feel for the volumes that we've had in the last year, the numbers on the right, we did 124,000 bales. We ginned 124,000 bales last year. That was the lowest volume since 2008. We operated 5 gins out of 9 last year, and that number represents an 85% reduction in our 10-year average production volume, so significantly down on average. You do note in these numbers grain which has increased in the second half of the year. There's been a pickup in that market in the second half of that last year. Those numbers they're 4 times higher than what they were in the prior year. Just to touch on our income statement for the last financial year. As Tim mentioned, it was an extremely difficult year following drought and historically low volumes. If you look at these numbers on the left-hand side, after stripping out earnings from joint ventures, you can see that our underlying earnings, or the EBITDA from the underlying business, was a negative $4 million from 124,000 gin bales. You'll also note there that roughly the ginning and co-products, the income from ginning and co-products was roughly break-even last year. And you'll also see that unallocated or corporate fixed costs reduced by $4 million down to 4.7 from $8.8 million last year. I do want to point out that the dynamics, the revenue and cost dynamics change as you come out of drought, and as we look now for increased seasons, we expect that as volumes increase, you'll have decreasing margins and costs will increase in preparation for those higher volumes. Looking at our balance sheet and cash flow, Despite the $8 million drop in EBITDA that we experienced last year, we managed to maintain net cash outflow without any significant movement from last year. You'll see on the screen, net cash outflow for the current year was negative $3.4 million versus negative $3.6 million last year. We managed that by tightly controlling our working capital, but also selling non-core assets in order to raise cash in order to support the business. You'll also see here that despite the negative impact of drought, our gearing ratios remain reasonable. And I'll also point out that all of these numbers on the screen are before the 10.7 million equity raise that we completed in May. Just wanted to talk about before I go there, I just wanted to make, Tim mentioned in his presentation that we are more than a ginning company. Ginning is at the core of our business, but we are a major feed business. We supply seed as a source of protein to domestic as well as international feedlots. We have a cost-effective supply chain with connections to Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne ports through our 51% investment in NCA. And we remain connected to the trading and marketing of cotton through our 100% owned cotton classing business, ACS, as well as our 15% strategic investment in NCMA. Talking about volumes, just to give you an idea, in the current season, where the most recent forecast for the current season, 2021 crop, 2.7 million bales, of which we're forecasting to gin 500,000 bales from that crop. As of today, we're just over 60% of the way through ginning that crop. And we're also, not only, apart from the increase in ginning volumes, we're also seeing significant increase in warehouse, grain, and seed volumes. You can see there we're generally 3 to 4 times higher this FY22 versus where we were in FY21. But conditions are even better for FY23. For the 22 crop, ABARES most recently in June, July, released their estimate of the 22 crop size to be 4.2 million bales versus 2.7 million bales this season. And if you look at that chart on the left-hand side, which we have charted dam storage levels versus our volumes, that is pointing to a minimum number of 1 million bales for us to gin in FY23. As I mentioned earlier, as we come out of drought, we are now investing in both parts, consumables, capacity in order to be ready for this significant increase in volume that we're looking at in FY23. Also want to touch on our refreshed 4PP strategy. We redefined our strategy during the year in order to build on not only the increased volumes that we're looking at, but also to provide a solid platform for us going forward. Our 4-point program is focused on creating a sustainable business through the good and bad times. Number one, we are aligning our fixed cost structure to sustainable volumes. 2, we're creating new products to grow our revenue. 3, we're looking to broaden our revenue at expansion through expansion and consolidation opportunities. And 4, most importantly, we are creating a great place to work and attracting new talent to the ginning space. Continuing on, following the equity raise that we completed early this year, we're about to invest $4 million in upgrading 2 facilities, 2 of our gin facilities at Moran North and Boggabri. I also can announce today that we've signed an MOU with the Kimberley Cotton Company to build, design and operate a gin in Kununurra, likely to be ready for the 22 season. And we're currently working on that right now. And I would also make note that we will be announcing new products to release to growers in the coming months for the coming season. So a lot of work being done in order to provide a more sustainable platform for us going forward. Again, I would encourage that this presentation is on the ASX platform. Encourage you to read it. If there is any questions, reach out to me or any of the team in Namoi. We'd be more than happy to answer those questions. I am now going to open up the forum to questions from the floor here in Toowoomba as well as online, and I will ask you to join me. Do we have any questions, Sarah Jane? No questions online. Do we have any questions from the floor? We have no questions from the floor.
No questions.
You want to close them?
Well, as we've had no questions, I'd just like to thank everyone for their patience and persistence, particularly the team here. It's not that easy to put all this together. You know, we're not Win TV or anything like that, so we're doing the best that we can. And so thank you all for your attendance today, and thank you to the people that have come in person. Anyway, we look forward to seeing all everyone in person when this whole nation gets back to some sort of normality. So thank you very much for attending, and I'll now close the meeting. And
thank you.